introduction. We were strangers to the game we love. We are strangers no more. It's more than a game. Hey, it's our religion now. And it's in our blood, it's in our veins, it's everywhere. Ilawa, 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 ilawa. And Chicago, I gotta galing arame. Apana wata na gida barika, yeah.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to AFL and TNT News' coverage of the 2023-24 TIO NTFL season, live broadcasting here from TIO Stadium in Darwin. We are in for an absolute ripper of a match here between Waratah and the Tiwi Bombers. It is a pleasure to host you this afternoon. My name is Tara Harris. I'm joined in the commentary box this afternoon by Stu Davis. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to AFLNT's coverage of the 2023-24 TIO NTFL season here, broadcasting live from TIO Stadium here in Darwin.
I'm good.
Apologies there, guys. Just had some audio difficulties there to kick it off for the broadcast match of the day. We should be live and ready to go now. Good afternoon, Stu. How are you?
Yeah, good start, Tara. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Of course, we're here at TIO Stadium when originally scheduled to be at Warramyunga, Stanley Tipalura Oval over there, but unfortunately the ground just not quite ready for us this week. So bit of logistics work, and here we are.
That's it. The Tiwi, they're coming off back-to-back losses, but they've shown enough last week. We sat here last week and watched them against the Buffaloes. They just didn't kind of take control in the first quarter against the Buffs, and they kind of paid for it for the rest of the game, where they were really quite level with the Buffs and really beat quite even quarter for quarter after that. Weren't able to make up that differential. Yeah,
exactly right. So excited to see what they bring today as we're underway, and it's Tiwi with first possession as the ball got worked towards the grandstand wing. The sweeping hand pass from Darwin finds his teammate in Kim Cantilla, but he disposed of the ball illegally, and it'll come back and a free kick to Big Sam Kenner for Tars. He goes short. That's not the best of kicks, and Brendan Cantilla comes in and chops it off, gets the hand pass across to Darley, who's got a bit of space through the middle of the ground. He switches it wide. That's a good-looking kick if it can get over the top, but nicely chipping in there was Nick Hoare to take the intercept mark and repel for Tars around the outer side of the wing as Crocker goes short, but his kick's chopped off again, and now Tiwi another chance, but that kick's missed the target as well. Hoare in there again, gets a quick hand pass forward, but doesn't find a teammate. There's a strong tackle, and it'll be a ball up just to the outer side of the centre circles. So no score early, second minute of the game. It's Tiwi with the clearance, and the mark's taken by Thaddeus Port-Jimmy just outside of forward 50 for Tiwi, kicking to the airport end of TIO Stadium in the first quarter. It's an interesting looking kick, but effective, and I half think it was meant, and it was nice mark taken by Kim Cantilla anyway. Perhaps it was what he meant, but the execution wasn't quite the way he wanted it, but hit the target, and Kim Cantilla, who's been in red hot form in the early rounds of the season, gets an early touch and an early set shot on goal.
Very much so. Had a bit of a day out last week against the Buffaloes. 17 touches across the board. Ended up with the 1 goal and 3 behinds. Hasn't got the breeze behind him on this occasion. He's going to have to give it a bit.
He's got it high and swinging left and just off the hands and through for a behind. So first score of the game goes to Tiwi. It's a minor score.
Albeit, as you said, a minor. It's good to see them kind of getting control early. So we'll see what happens with this.
So Tars round the outer side of the ground, or coming in hard was Kurt Dunn. Read the ball well, just got his hands to it but couldn't hold it. He's got his hands on it again at ground level, and there's going to be a Tiwi free kick here. And pass comes out, and Heenan drives the pass, but that slips over the back of everyone and bounces out of bounds, and it'll be a boundary throw in on the outer side.
So an inclusion today for Waratah. Big inclusion for them is the inclusion of... Sorry, I've just lost my notes here. Ryan Clark, who was drafted 2015 to the AFL, played 97 games for North Melbourne and the Sydney Swans. So first appearance with the Waratah side this afternoon. So excited to see what kind of he brings to the Waratah side.
Yeah, that's right. First, well, he was still in the AFL system this year, so obviously a talented player, and another one into the ranks of Waratah Football Club, who are pretty shrewd with their recruiting. As the boundary throwing comes in, Heenan at ground level, tries to bust past, gets caught with the ball. It's a kick off the ground. I think it's a goal for Tiwi. It is an opportunist goal, and I'm thinking that was Edward Puruntatameri done at ground level.
Yes.
Yes, it was. So first goal on the board for Tiwi, and that was an amazing piece of work in the traffic.
It really was. So it was good. It's obviously the hit out there, and Paddy Heenan did well to kind of keep composure under pressure there with 2 on him, as we'll watch back here with the ball up. Paddy Heenan with eyes on it early. Gets wrapped up there pretty quickly though, but manages to get that one loose, and really, really good vision and clearance there. Really, really well done from number 28 there, and Edward Puruntatameri done. So starts Tiwi off with a bit of a bang. That's just 1 goal, 1 behind for them, 7. Waratah yet to get it into their forward 50, but just about to enter the 5-minute mark, so very early stages here at TIO.
Yeah, good start for Tiwi, and they've had all the play in their forward half, so Cantilla reaching over the top, gets a hit out, and now Tiwi again, good use of the ball, and they go deep inside forward 50. On the half volley down there was Rhett Jordan, just couldn't get his hands to the ball, but now Tars with numbers working it through the hands, but a fumble there allows Port Jimmy to come in, but he left the ball behind, and now Tars looking to clear as there's a wrestle on as the marking contest just happens inside the boundary line, and it's Anthony Munkara who sees it over. Anthony Munkara, of course, playing for Waratah, and he's straight out of the AFL system as well with Essendon. So from the boundary throw, and it slips over black, clever hands, and Cantilla hand passes forward to Heenan. He switches wide, got Thompson running out there. If the ball bounces for him, he swings around now, back on the right, ducks inside the opponent in front of him, delivers beautifully to Roy Cantilla down in the forward pocket, and gee, they look like they're on, don't they, Tiwi, at the moment? Very
much so. There's a kind of it's a different Tiwi side than we've seen in recent years that have come out. It's very likely to be under the new coach there of Patrick Bowden, who's come on into the ranks here from just for this season, but no, it's very interesting, really kind of skilled and smart decisions there to obviously go with the switch there, where typically Tiwi would just load it into the kind of forward line and see where they end up. So see what happens here.
So Roy Cantilla has gone right to the line, it's gone all the way through. They're celebrating. That's a fantastic finish. Just a pretty casual kick off a couple of steps out near the 50, set shot, and he's put it straight through. So
didn't have the wind in his favour either. That one was very much all him there, very still here down at TIO. That starts them off early, and as we said last week, they had a deficit they just couldn't claw back from in the first quarter against the Buffalo. So you can see the message has been very clear here to come out very strong. So they're doing that very well. Good switch and a good lead there too. Beautiful mark. It's just good footy.
Yeah, it's great by Thompson. Just composure, and then not afraid to go on to the left and deliver inside 50. So as the replay's shown there, we're back underway. Darley's got another clearance for Tiwi down here to Puruntatameri Dunn, out to Tipalura. Tipalura over the top. Here's another chance as Carlson Cantilla has a ping towards goal, but his kick falls short. Now Waratah defence scrambling in the goal square. Good defensive work down there. Good forward pressure work by Rhett Jordan, who comes into the side for the first time for the year for Tiwi. And he smothers the ball over the boundary line for another stoppage in the right forward pocket for Tiwi.
So again, a really good centre clearance there. Just about to enter 7.5-minute mark here of the first quarter.
Tars hands on the ball from that stoppage, and clearance comes grandstand side, but Tiwi is queuing up here, and there's a big leap over the top. And it's that man again, Kim Cantilla, who takes the mark, pulls up a bit sore there.
Yeah, got a bit of a limp on him.
But just chips it out wide and finds Ian Keranua. Ian Keranua out wide here, kicks long inside forward 50. Plenty of Tars defenders back there, and Kenner takes a good contested mark in the middle of the pack. And he's looking to switch to the outer side of the ground, switches to the goal square, in fact, and now it's Spence who runs away from the outer side. The kick comes inboard, and Scott Carlin hands it off to Clark. Clark kept running, but Tars deciding to switch wide instead, as getting his hands to it out wide is Brock Reynolds. He goes 1-2 with Oliver Poulsen, and the ball's inboard now to Clark. Clark chips the ball. That's not his best effort, and it's chopped off by Paddy Heenan, who looking forward, delivers nicely inside forward 50, and he finds Brendan Cantilla about 50 metres out from goal. So a kick from Ryan Clark that he'd like to forget, which is probably his first one in NTFL football. But Tiwi again with the opportunity. There's plenty of numbers back in the goal square as Cantilla comes in. He's got plenty on it. It's going all the way through from outside 50, if you don't mind. And Tiwi have got 3 on the board.
Geez, this is a really, really big foot down for them in the opening couple of minutes. Just about 9.5 minutes into the first quarter here, and that is a massive, massive start there for the Tiwi Bombers. That puts them there to, I want to say 3-1.
Yep.
3-1 there, just to the no score there for Waratah at this stage. Brendan Cantilla had an absolute day out last week, 26 disposals in total, with a 74% kicking efficiency and 100% handball efficiency. So not only a great game, but an efficient game for the Tiwi Bombers last week. And we watch him here, we watch this injection into the forward centre there for Heenan, and a beautiful kick as he praised beautifully. Stu.
Fantastic, wasn't it? Outside 50, no problem whatsoever. And yeah, it wasn't just last week. Brendan Cantilla's been a star all season, so it's Tiwi again getting their hands on the ball in the middle as it comes out here to Alaman Kinney, and he does well. He sees Thompson out wider, and Thompson gets a hand to it, gets it to his own advantage at ground level, bounces off a couple of Tars players, and then scoops it out wide, but it's picked up here by Will Clark. He misses the target out here, and there's plenty of Tiwi numbers as it's forced forward by Ian Kiranua, but Tars have butted up again, and Clark kicks short around the wing, and this is better from Tars. Screaming for it forward was Tyson McKenzie, but he was ignored in space, but Carlin's got it. He switches to the outer side of the ground. That's a pretty good kick, and he finds Jack O'Sullivan, and Tars inside forward 50 for the first time. O'Sullivan's got a player on the lead, and he delivers nicely to Tyson McKenzie, who kept running from the near side of the ground where he was in space and ran to the outer side of the ground. And in that marking contest, there's a Tiwi player who's still on the ground, a bit sore. So effectively there's 2 on the mark, but one of them's sitting on the ground. Is going to allow that to go on. So McKenzie deep in that right forward pocket. Waratah's first shot on goal. It comes in. I think it looks pretty good. It is. It's right through the middle. And so Waratah on the board for the first time in this round 6 clash.
That's it, and that's the thing about Waratah. They're dangerous because of their efficiency out of the centre as well. If they get a bit of control, Tiwi want to keep control of this game, they've got to remain first to the ball. So you give Waratah an inch, they'll take them out. They're powerful, and they've got great forwards. And McKenzie last week was definitely one for it. He kicked 2 goals last week against the Wanderers side. We can see Mankara making his way back onto the field there, so we know that he's dangerous up forward as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Waratah respond here.
So it's Kurt Dunn that's injured, and they've taken him straight over the boundary line on the outer side of the ground, so he won't be back.
No, he won't, which we know how important it was last week against the Darwin Buffaloes, so we're hoping that he's okay.
He seems to be walking okay now. I don't know.
It's dangerous. Obviously, that's the rule. If they're taken off like that, they can't. Oh, no.
He's trying to walk back on the ground now, but they might have made a blue here.
Yeah, I would say so.
Anyway, we're underway again as ball spills out the back of the pack, and Darley there once again fishes out the hand pass to Alaman Kinney. He drives the ball forward, and nicely marked down there by Jordan, who kicks the ball long over the back. Here's an opportunity. Can they keep it in play? They couldn't. It was Francis Tipungwoody down there, the 16-year-old who's come into the Tiwi side this week, but just couldn't keep it in, and it's gone through for a behind as Collis goes straight up the middle of the ground and finds Carl, and there's a couple of Tiwi opponents closed on him, but had enough composure to set himself and take the mark. Gets it back to Collis, who kept running. He hand passes off to Crocker. Crocker off to Spence. Spence running forward of centre, kicks long inside forward 50. Off hands, the ball goes back towards the boundary line and kept in down there, but straight to Magro, whose kick is half smothered. It bounces into the hands of O'Sullivan. He gives it back to Pulling. Pulling swings around, settles himself, but misses to the left and a behind only.
It was an unfortunate bounce for the Tiwi defence there. Braden Rioli tried really hard to keep that one there and to get a bit of control back in the game, but bounced back in, but just didn't end how Waratah would have liked that one too. So Tiwi will get control back here.
Blackney Noda it is who will bring the ball in for Tiwi. So Tar's just starting to get a little bit of control. Their hands on the ball. And Blackney Noda out wide. It's gone very wide. Oh, but nicely kept in out there by Ian Kiranua. And delivers beautifully to Alaman Kinney just backward of centre. He wheels around on the right foot, but his kick's fallen short. Well read and chopped off in defence, and now Tars through the middle, but Tipalura closes in on that one, gets himself in front, takes the intercept mark, chips the ball out wide, and he's got Cunningham out there. Cunningham goes long towards goal, but again it's just missed to the near side. But some quick transition there from Tiwi as the pass just hung in the air a bit and allowed Tipalura to chip in and take it away, but Tars bring it back in again. Crocker down to Carl, and he spills the mark this time, puts himself under pressure, but recovers now, gets a hand pass to Collis. Collis going high and wide, cutting across was Cantilla, got his hand to the ball. Carlson Cantilla, that was, followed up well to lay the tackle and put the pressure on, but Dunn couldn't keep hold of it, couldn't hold the mark there, and now Tars again with a chance as the kick comes into O'Sullivan from Gleeson, and O'Sullivan marks at centre half forward. He chips it short. Darley gets a hand to it for Tiwi, and that was enough to put plenty of pressure on Pulling down there in the forward half, and Magro it was, and it'll be a ball up just forward of centre half forward for Tars. No Tiwi player in that ruck contest as the ball spills out the back, and Clark chips it forward again, goes over the head of Pulling, but falls here to I'm going to say Oliver Poulsen with the shot on goal. Yes, it is. So Poulsen on the end of that one. A bit of a scrambly effort towards goal, but Tars have made the most of it and got themselves right back into the game. As you just see the replay here, as scooped out Clark with a kick out wide, and just bounced into the hands of Poulsen, who took a step and put it through.
No, that was really good there. Just quick thinking, got to get it moving, and he did. He's part of the Kazali's Academy squad and spent a bit of time with them this year, travelling and kind of brushing up on his skills and getting to that kind of elite level, and he's in a good place now. I want to say this season's his first season as an inclusion as a part of the Premier League side, so a couple more of those and you might see him for a few more weeks, I'd say. Yeah,
certainly played under 18s last year, and still only 17 years of age, so yeah, he's put some games together now as Darley in the centre chips the hand pass, but that wasn't well directed. It's scrambling on the ground now as the hand pass comes out, and now Tars work it out wide, and Crocker delivers wide to O'Sullivan at half forward, who's starting to get busy and into the game, presenting as a target. He goes inboard to Clark. Clark goes short, looking for Magro. Magro under some pressure takes the mark on the second attempt, and yeah, we're 19 minutes or so into this first quarter, and it's been a quarter of two halves. It was all Tiwi early, and now it's all Waratah.
Very much so. Breeze isn't doing Magro any favours here. He's going to have to give it the full distance himself. He's got a great left boot.
Magro kicks long towards goal. He's squeezed that one across the face. There's a big leap from behind. O'Sullivan got his hands to the ball, couldn't take the mark, and it trickles over the boundary line.
So it'll be a throw in here late in the quarter for Waratah, an opportunity to even things up here. They've got some good, skillful players lurking.
So from the throw in down, O'Sullivan at ground level gets it to Pulling. He chips in short. Good use of the ball. And Magro again found some space in the corridor there between full forward and half forward. And Jaden Magro, of course, coming off a 9-goal effort last week. Shouldn't have much trouble with this one directly in front. Kicks on the way now, swings back nicely and straight through for another Waratah goal. So Tiwi scored the first 3 of the game, and Waratah have scored the next 3 to tighten it right up just to a 2-point margin for Tiwi.
That's it. So heading back into the centre now, as he said, a field day last week against Wanderers for Magro, and he's obviously, you should watch the replay here, giving himself a bit of space just to get an opportunity right in front. Obviously the one just before sprayed across the front. Had 22 disposals last week, as we said, against Wanderers, with the 9 goals, 5 behinds and 2 score assists. So powerful forward, has been for a few years now. Runner-up in the Dennis Dunn leading goal kicker medal last season as well. So
yeah, he's been a rep player for the NT and a consistent performer for Tars for the last 3 years or so. But through the hands, Tars do it nicely, and Clark with the clearance kicks out wide, looking for Magro again. Just bounces out in front of him this time, and he's under immediate pressure as he takes possession of the ball, manages to get it out into some space. As there's a free kick here going Tiwi's way at half back, and they'll just settle things down as the kick comes into the centre of the ground, taken there by Brendan Cantilla. He kicks out wide. It's chopped off. Play on's the call as it's cleared out of defence, and Tars with the numbers just working it through the hands. Eventually it comes to Clark on the left foot. He kicks inside forward 50 over the top, and it's Kenner who's got on the end of that one. I'm not sure that he was the intended target, but there was Magro was leading and it went over his head, and Kenner was just in the right place out in front of his opponent and takes the mark on the chest, and we'll have a set shot from goal from almost the exact place that Magro kicked the previous one from. Kenner, the right footer, stabs it towards goal. It looks pretty good. It's on target, straight through the middle. So Tars have really hit back here with 4 goals in a row and take the lead for the first time in the game.
that's it. So just passing, about to enter the 21-minute mark here of the first quarter. That's levelled it up there. But as I said earlier, it's that opportunity and that for Tiwi there to remain very much a part of this game, where they really let themselves get run over in the first quarter of the last week's match against the Buffaloes. So to have an even quarter like this keeps them very much a part of it. But we know that Waratah are an absolute powerhouse, last year's premiers and obviously reigning premiers leading into this season as well. So, and a not very changed team. Obviously you did know earlier that in their ruck has changed this week. No Arnold Kirby for them.
Yeah, Arnold Kirby's had an impressive start to the season, but out of the side this week for reasons that we're not sure. But Ryan Clark starting to really work into the game now, gets another clearance out wide, pull and gets bundled to the ground. Clark comes in and helps out. His hand pass is smothered. Brendan Cantilla picks up, drops the ball to the ground, and now Tars are away again with 3 players inside forward 50. That's a mongrel kick towards goal, but it's got past everyone in the goal square, and Toby Hutt gets himself on the board for Tars. So yeah, not the best execution, but kept it online and just out of the reach of everyone down there.
No, so coming off the back, Hutt coming off the back of 3 goals last week against Wanderers. Cantilla does well here to pick this up and try to get a clearance and regain control, but just turned over really quickly there.
Yeah.
A great kick by Hutt.
Yeah, been impressive this year, Toby Hutt, as a forward option and a chop out in the ruck. He's been an important part of what Waratah are building during the season. So he's into the ruck now, up against Carlson Cantilla. The bounce favours him and he just smashes it forward, running off the set forward 50 was Mackenzie. He delivers nicely to Pullen short, looking for Magro. Again, under close attention down there from Michael Dunn, and the ball's punched away and over the boundary line for a throw-in.
So just over the 23-minute mark here of the first quarter. Boundary throw-in here, Waratah forward 50.
So at ground level. Magro takes it from the ruck contest, gets a quick kick forward. He's followed up again, couldn't control it. It comes to O'Sullivan, who swings around the corner, and he's got himself on the board as well. So this is incredible after Tiwi dominated the early stages of the game, and Waratah have hit back with 6 in a row now. And Jack O'Sullivan, I said earlier that he's starting to get busy and present as a target in that forward half, and this time he's done it from ground level. So you're just on the replay down there. Magro stayed involved, but just a bit of space, and O'Sullivan took it and knew where the goal was.
That's it. Good work right there from Magro to follow through there as well. Back in the centre here, just extends that lead there, and that bit of control there for Waratah. 5-1-31 to the Bombers, 3-3-21. 10-point ball game at this point, just over the 24-minute mark.
So ball ping-pongs around in the middle, but eventually falls to Tars. That hand pass just affected by the pressure, and Kim Cantilla runs onto it, has a bounce now, hand passes forward, and the shot at goal from about 30 out from Edward Puruntatameri done once again, but that was just terrific work. Kim Cantilla out of the middle again, but Tars looked like they were going to be clearing that one, and there was just a hand in there that affected the hand pass, and Kim Cantilla pounced on it. You just see here as that, yep, it was Carlson Cantilla following up from his ruck work, just put the pressure on, and that caused the turnover. And once they get out in space, they're difficult to stop, that's for sure.
Oh, very much so. So you can see a lot of open players there for the Tiwi forward line. Waratah didn't even really get a chance to respond to how fast that happened down there, and that's something that even our cameramen struggle to keep up with, is the pace of which these Tiwi side moves when they get a bit of momentum. So just like that, they respond, and it's down to 4 points here, just over the 25-minute mark, first quarter.
Cantilla got his hand to it. It comes to Darley. Darley, another clearance, kicks long straight down the middle of the ground. There's a big leak from behind, and nice mark taken by Nick Hoare for Tars. He looks grandstand side, goes corridor instead, and finds Collis at half back. Dylan Collis just looking to direct traffic from there, pinpoints the pass. That's a beautiful kick to Ed Morris. He hands it off to Brody Carroll. Carroll's got a free player at half forward, and that's Tyson McKenzie again, who's finding space down there. He thumps the ball long towards the goal line, but just drifts across the face and through for a behind. So a 10-goal first quarter so far, and both sides have had their moments as we wait for the ball to come back. There's 2 footies on the field now as Michael Dunn chooses which one he'll take.
Have his pick of the bunch there. Which one does he like more?
Like he's serving in tennis. Chips it out to Blackney Nota, who retrieved the footies from over the fence, and now the siren goes to end the quarter, and a really entertaining opening quarter, Tara.
Yep.
And sees Waratah with a bit of a lead, but both sides well and truly in the game.
Yeah, very much so. Look, we'll be right back with more footy action here live from TIO Stadium for the 23-24 TIO NTFL season. Bombers 4-3-27, Waratah 5-2-32.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro, or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge, or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help. With the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation, and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, to AFL and T and NG News' coverage to the 2023-24 TIO NTFL season. We are back here, Tiwi Bombers and Waratah. Great opening quarter here of footy. A few goal kickers across the board.
Yeah, there are. There's only one multiple. That's Edward Purintata Mary Dunn's got 2 for Tiwi. Roy Cantilla's got 1, and Brendan Cantilla. And for Waratah, all singles. As we said, Tyson McKenzie has been busy in the first quarter. Oliver Poulsen got that nice one. Jaden Magro and a couple of others. But the action's back on, so we'll go there as Darley got his hands on it again. His hand pass missed the target. At ground level, Carlson Cantilla dives forward and smacks the ball forward. And then Collis looked to get one across the ear, but play on's a call. It's still bouncing around as it gets down towards Tiwi's half-forward area. But eventually Ryan Clark takes possession, fishes the hand pass out wide, but again doesn't quite hit the target out there, and Crocker's taken to ground in the tackle, and it'll be a ball up again. So plenty of hands on the ball there with no possession or disposals really, except for the one hand pass.
That's right. It's umpire Mark Noonan here with the ball up, keeping control of this game.
Big Kenner hooks that one back, and it was Clark again at ground level, got his hands on it and follows up with the hand pass forward, and now Tars going forward. O'Sullivan works his way to the front, got his hands to the ball, but sling tackle there gets rid of Ian Karanua. Play on's the call as the ball slips out the back, and some clever work by Jacob Brown. Wheels around on the right foot and hits Thompson inside the centre square. He goes short looking for Kim Cantilla, but he's surrounded by Waratah opponents. The ball's caught up underneath him. No sympathy from umpire Noonan here as it was caught between his legs, and Brodie Carroll will be the recipient of the free kick. So we've worked back in numbers, but not out there where the kick comes to McKenzie, who drills the ball inside forward 50. It gets over the back. Here's a chance for Tars. Oh, clever work. Gets around his opponent, and that's a good finish by the big fella Toby Hutt once again for Tars, and he becomes Waratah's first multiple goal kicker. Just manoeuvred himself pretty well for a big fella.
He did really well there, and you can see the defensive pressure was lurking there with Tiwi coming in, but I think they just approached it and actually overshot the defensive play there. If we watch the replay with the kick in here.
He just gets over the back and he's got space, but this was clever work here.
Yeah.
Ducked back inside, found some space and through from the goal square.
And that just extends their lead that little bit further with Tiwi Bombers 4-3, Waratah 7-44, making our way back to the centre here.
So Carlson Cantilla still doing the right work, hasn't had a chop out. Uses it nicely down to Brendan Cantilla. He chips forward, good use of the ball, finds Port Jimmy. Port Jimmy gives it off to Brendan Cantilla, to Heenan. Cantilla still running inside 50 now. Oh, his kick has just touched it on the way through and falls into the goal square at ground level. Tars under pressure, and eventually it's Nick Hoare who soaks the pressure and just carries it over the goal line for a rush behind, and Tars back into play quickly on the outer side of the ground as Collis makes space in the corridor. He's got Carlin screaming for it grandstand side, but ignores that and goes up the middle of the ground looking for O'Sullivan instead, and Sure Hands takes the mark, hands it off, and it's Tars inside forward 50 again. The ball slips over the back to Magro, but he's wrapped up in the tackle by Michael Dunn pretty quickly down there, and it'll be a ball up inside 50. So Dunn with the job on Magro today as Blackney Noda comes in, wins the hit out for Tiwi. Morris ducked underneath that one as Darley working back does well with the flight of the ball, and now at ground level receives the hand pass and runs away from half back, kicks around the wing, and that's a beautifully directed kick and marked by Francis Tipungwoody here. He plays on now, but just ran himself straight into the player on the mark who smothered the ball. Kim Cantilla tries to break the tackle, gets caught with it, eventually manages to get himself over the boundary line for a boundary throw in. So it was pretty well done by Kim Cantilla in the end.
Yeah.
Bit of composure down there.
Yeah, very much so. I think he could have got wrapped up there and given away a free. Got tackled nice and early on it. So, no, good, as you said, nice and composed.
So Carlson Cantilla and Kenner but it's Tiwi who run it away. Kim Cantilla hand passes forward to the advantage of Port Jimmy, which just went a bit too far for him. Roy Cantilla hooks a hand pass over his head. Well done by Kenner at ground level. Got it back to Waratah, who kicks forward quickly. Kim Cantilla got his hands to it, but was worried out of it, and Hall brings it around the grandstand side. Nicely done by O'Sullivan. Sweep the hand pass to Clark. Clark's got a player in space in the middle of the ground, and that's Carroll. Carroll chips the pass, or just a bit lazy on that one was Mackenzie, and spilt the mark and allowed the Tiwi defenders to close in. Now it comes back to Carroll, who has a chip towards goal, and no harm done in the end as Brodie Carroll finishes nicely. But yeah, I think Tyson Mackenzie just a bit casual on that one, spilt the mark, and the Tiwi was scrambling from then on, but eventually weighted numbers got it out to Carroll, and he finished nicely, as he often does.
Yeah, very much so. So that adds another multiple goal scorer for Waratah across the board. I think still just the only the one multiple goal scorer for them in
Toby Hutt.
Toby Hutt. So everyone's getting a bit of a go today in the forwards. But no, they were really well cleaned up there. Great hand pass there from Joel Crocker as well to get that one out to Carroll. So back in the centre, and then all of a sudden it's just that lead's just all of a sudden expanded out there, and Waratah have a bit of a force to be reckoned with in the opening couple of minutes of this quarter.
Yep, ball in the centre square again, but a stalemate, and the ball up once again as it's hooked back, but first hands on it down there for Tiwi was Jordan. He kicked it long inside forward 50. The ball at ground level now. There's a pack of players around the ball. I don't think that one's coming out in a hurry, and it'll be a ball up about 35 metres from the Tiwi goal at the Michael Long Centre end of the ground. From the ruck contest, it's Puruntada Mary Dunn just ducks underneath that one as he picks the ball up. Hand passes back to Tipungwuti. He goes backwards. And now long kick. Port Jimmy setting himself here. Couldn't quite get his hands on it. And good strong work out of defence by Josh Smith for Tars. And eventually they work it through the hands all the way up to the centre square. And they've got players out the back here. Mackenzie spills another mark here, but he's got time to recover now. Drills the pass looking for Magro. Just a bit too much on that one. Gets over his head, and it's bouncing towards the boundary line in that left forward pocket and rolls out for a throw in. But that was quick transition from Tars from one end of the ground to the other, and fortunate for Tiwi that they just couldn't find a target going inside 50.
Yeah, very much so. We know how dangerous Magro is in that space. So just getting set up here.
Toby Hutt and Blackney Nota doing the ruck work. Hutt hooks it over the back, but it's Tiwi at ground level as the kick comes away. Oh, good mark taken running with the flight of the ball. That's Kurt Dunn there. We won't say any more about that as he chips the ball out wide and finds Kim Cantilla, who hand passes over the top. Paddy Heenan picks up and swings the ball inboard, and it's spilled off the chest there by Puruntada Mary Dunn, and that allows the Tars defenders to come in and clear out wide on the grandstand side here. The bounce didn't really favour Morris. He had to sit and wait for it, and he got tackled as soon as he took possession. Kim Cantilla once again.
I think Mark Noonan's had more disposals than a few today, so another ball up there for Mark Noonan.
Darwin does the ruck work, but Morris at ground level read it beautifully off their hands, and he delivers inside forward 50. The ball thumped away from behind. Now at ground level it's picked up down there by Jacob Brown, but he got caught in the tackle, and be another ball up. So just forced away towards the boundary line. Darley busy as ever, gets on the end of it now, drills a pass close to the boundary line. Tipalura's taken the mark just inside the line there, and now he's looking to run inside. It's a 50-metre penalty though, as there was movement on the mark, anticipating Tipalura running around and playing on, and that was Tom Spence on the mark, and Mark Noonan won't miss those as Tipalura has the opportunity with a set shot now.
So again, very still out there today. Very hot, very humid Darwin weather. Doesn't have the wind in his favour.
Kicks on the way. Oh, that's drifting right across into the forward pocket. It stays in play down there. Carroll does well, gets it to Clark. Clark misses with his hand pass, but butters up again and fishes it back there to Hoare. Hoare's chip pass around the outer side. Finds Brody Carroll out there. Carroll goes around the boundary line, slips off hands, and at ground level, Poulsen waiting, but he's wrapped up in the tackle, and it'll be a ball up once again, just forward of wing for Tiwi Bombers on the outer side of the ground. Out comes Paddy Heenan, overruns that one, and Tars pick it up, work it through the hands, but miss, and Heenan's in again, drills the pass in, but misses the target, and Nick Hoare chops that one off and now moves the ball quickly grandstand side. Finds Tom Spence in a bit of space here, and he's got players queuing up in the middle. One of them is Collis, and Collis marks at half back, sweeps the hand pass forward to Carlin, had a runner, ignored that, and chips inboard, but he's just overkicked that one as well as Brown runs off of half back and tidies up. He kicks towards half forward, misses the target. Carlin gets it off there to Smith, and Smith goes short, and Tars working through the hands again as Clark gets another possession forward of centre, and Hutt looking for Magro on the lead, and claiming the mark down there was Michael Dunn. It's not going to be paid. Umpire Noonan indicating it was touched on the way through, so it'll be a ball up just inside forward 50 for Waratah. Blackney Noda using his strength down there to get his opponent out of the way in the ruck contest. It falls into the hands of Brown, but his hand pass missed the target. Now over the top, Blackney Noda running back with the direction of the ball. Almost held without it. There was Braden Rioli, and that's the way that umpire Noonan has seen it. And Rioli will take the free kick. He chips it out wide. That's not the best directed pass. And it was just kept rolling away from Rhett Jordan out there and over the boundary line. So just a couple of goals so far in this quarter. We're approaching 12 minutes, and both goals to Waratah. So from the throw in, reaching over the top was Kenner, got two hands to it with his hit out, but at ground level it's an incorrect disposal. Free kick being paid here, and it's going the way of Brendan Cantilla at half back for Tiwi. He's looking grandstand side. He's got players out here, but they might just be too far away. He goes shorter to Brown inside the corridor. Now he sees Puruntatamiri down, Port Jimmy down here, but that was a terrific mark going back with the flight of the ball by Alex Pulling for Waratah. He's called to play on now, and he hand passes forward to Clark. Clark drills in the corridor again, and Ryan Clark takes the mark. He's got players running forward. It falls in between them, but Poulsen's going to have the chance to run onto this one now. Swings back on the right foot, snaps towards goal, but he's pulled that one too far, and through for a behind.
So just extends that lead there, just by the one for Waratah.
Yeah, Tiwi just looking to settle here as the drill pass comes in. Oh, Cantilla does well to pick it up at ankle height. And he goes short again up the corridor. Another risky kick, but it's found the target, no problem whatsoever, as Henry Karanua hands it off. But again, poor disposal from Darley, and he's turned it over. Ed Morris bangs it back inside forward 50, and Toby Hutt's just got on the end of that one in some space. As the ball pinged back in, the Tiwi defence didn't have a chance to set up. And Toby Hutt, who's proved to be a reliable target forward, gets on the end of it again, and he already has two. Chance for a third. Set shot from right on 50. The kick's on the way. Looks good, and it's being clapped through all the way through. So Toby Hutt once again is impressing today as a forward option for Waratah, and does a bit of ruck work, as we said before. So he's a valuable player in the team, and he's going back in again. He kicks a goal, he goes in the centre to do the ruck work, Tara. That's how it works.
You can see here, we watch the replay, so it's just a turnover there from that Darley kick. boosted back into the forward there. And as you said, the defence just didn't even have time to reset.
Yeah.
So that's just how fast and efficient Waratah are there in terms of their positioning. As you can see, looking a little bit flat at the moment, the Bombers. Doesn't seem to be that kind of eagerness coming from their side in terms of the attack of the ball. So hopefully we can get a bit of a switch happening here and they can remain very much a part of this game.
So again, Tars favoured by the bounce from centre, and they clear it pretty easily. Goes through the hands of Paulson there. Darley at ground level got a bit of a push. Now he's caught with the ball underneath him, but it'll be a ball up. Hutt doing the ruck work. Oh, there's a...
Carlson came from behind.
Yeah, and ran into the umpire and came off worse for wear, I think, as well as giving away the free kick.
Yes.
So Toby Hutt just directing a bit of traffic and then chips short to O'Sullivan, who went without an opponent. So a bit of miscommunication in defence there from Tiwi, and yeah, they just a bit of hands on hips and starting to look a little bit ragged now. They need to reset themselves, and because they were well in the game early and playing some exciting footy, but it's Jack O'Sullivan. Kicks from 50, the kick's on the way. That again, another terrific finish from around the 50-metre line, and Waratah kick their fourth for the quarter, and Tiwi haven't been able to hit the scoreboard this quarter, and yeah, Tars extending that lead that they had at quarter time out to almost 6 goals now.
And a second goal for O'Sullivan, coming off the back of the 4 that he kicked last week against Wanderers as well. So he's having a good couple of weeks out.
Yeah, he's a very handy player. He played obviously a part of their premiership side last year, where from memory I reckon he played across half back in the grand final at least. But a player that can be used at either end of the ground is always valuable. Cantilla got high, didn't get his hand to it. Darley read it well, chips the ball around here, trying to find Alaman Kinney. He gets to it eventually and now kicks high inside forward 50, but just falls into the lap of Josh Smith back there. And Smith for Tars clears to the outer side of the ground where he's got players queuing up, and they work it through the hands. The kick just slid off the side of the boot, gives Tiwi a chance to come in and put some pressure on. Brendan Cantilla hand passes backwards. That's good use of the ball to Darley again. Darley drills a pass forward. This one's better, finds Purantatameri Dunn. He's called to play on now as he swings around. He's run himself into a bit of trouble, but gets clear and delivers out wide. And Tiwi a chance to go forward once again, but James Waratah this time in front of Dale Cunningham. Just chopped that one off and then switches to Will Clark in the back pocket. He has Alex pulling free forward of him, and he also has a free player in Paulson. Paulson's kick forward is not his best, but bounces into the hands of O'Sullivan. The hand passes over the top. It's chopped off there by Tipalura, who hand passes backwards to Brown. Brown's got a runner from behind in Michael Dunn, and uses the ball well to find him. Dunn off of half back, chips the ball into the centre, and the mark's taken by Purantatameri Dunn in the centre of the ground. He's now called to play on as he kicks wide, and there's a couple of Tiwi players out there. One of them was Francis Tupangwoody, but might have got a finger to it, but it's gone over the boundary line, and it'll be a throw in, and it's gone over the fence, so someone will have to go and retrieve that. And it's going to be Joden Alaman Kinney who does that.
So option here, if Tiwi can strike the ball hard, just to hopefully get one in. We are in the Tiwi forward 50.
Yeah, the Tars are set up with a goalkeeper effectively, and no Tiwi player anywhere near him, so a quick kick in won't do Tiwi any favours from that contest. Darley working hard at ground level has won himself a free kick. He's chipping into the centre of the ground now. That's a good pass and finds Brendan Cantilla. He plays on now into the forward pocket. It's going wide and over the head of everyone out there. I think it's floated out on the full, so it'll be a Waratah free kick. Josh Smith retrieving the ball from over the fence.
Using his height to his advantage.
Plays on now, gets past the player on the mark, and a good kick finds Toby Hutt on the outer side of the ground. Hutt looking to hand pass, changes his mind. He's got a runner forward. This is Munkara, who's run onto the ball in some space now, and he's off with a couple of bounces, running towards the 50, has a third bounce, almost lost control of it now. On the check side, gets it high to the goal square. O'Sullivan gets his hands to the ball. Oh, cleverly at ground level. Just worked it onto his boot with his left hand, and I think there's going to be a conversation here, but I'm pretty sure he's done enough to get that ball quickly onto his boot and through for a goal.
Be interesting to see the replay here, a bit slow down and see what happened there, if he was across the line or not. Looks, is it a behind or no? They've called it.
It is a goal. It's been called, so I thought that was the way the goal umpire was
heading.
Was looking initially. But they had the conversation, but clever work on the goal line by O'Sullivan again.
Very much so. Obviously, third goal for O'Sullivan, but can't take away from that impressive passage of play from Munkara. The first time we've seen him be his explosive self this match, where probably had about a 50-metre run or so, just 4 bounces and a beautiful kick into the centre of the goal square. Yeah,
just put it in the danger area, didn't he? And had the players there, and Sullivan with the clever work finished it off. So we're back in the centre now as Ryan Clark gets his hands to the ball, hand passes over his head, toe poke forward, and Brendan Cantilla paddles it forward towards half forward. It's picking up at half back was Will Clark. He got caught in the tackle, swung around, but no free kick, and it'll be a ball up right at centre half forward for Tiwi.
Waratah have a lot of numbers in this ruck.
Cantilla thumps it over the top. Here's a chance for Tiwi running onto the ball. It spills out to Tipping Woody, who lost his footing. It's still loose in the goal square. He's there again, but he has it pinched off him by Nick Hoare, who casually chips it to the outer side of the ground, and Brock Reynolds just settles things down, kicks to Ryan Clark, who sweeps the handball out wide, and now Tars out of defensive forward. Oh, look, all by himself down here is Mackenzie, who's got space out the back and runs off with a bounce, kicks long towards goal. Working back there, Toby Hutt under a bit of pressure on the goal line. Got a bit of body on him and spilt the mark over the line. He's appealing for a free kick, but not paid, and so it's a behind only to Tars as Blackney Noda quickly brings the ball into play, grandstand side. He's got Tipalura coming off the bench here, and that was a beautiful long kick, found him right on the chest. He's stepped around and called to play on now as the Thompson sweeps the hand pass back to Rioli. Braden Rioli short to Tipalura, swings the hand pass inboard. The thought was good, it just missed though, but Thompson still in the game as he paddles it out here to Cantilla. Roy Cantilla short and finds Tipping Woody, who's off and running. He's got Puruntatameri done over the top. Now it falls to him. He tries to hook the ball around, but it's just floated across the face of goal and all the way out of bounds on the full. So unfortunate for Tiwi there. They really opened Tars up over the back, but just couldn't finish it in the end.
No, unfortunate, just a bit too much on it there from Puruntatameri done.
So Tars chipping it around the back half. Carlin short to Spence, and Spence slows things down now, switches wide to the grandstand side. Will Clark out here had some space and takes the mark. Just happy to run a bit of time off the clock close to half time here. They've got a 7-goal lead, of course, and now Clark chips it in, but chipping in front was Thompson. He spilt the mark this time. Roy Cantilla comes in to assist, tries to play for a free kick there. It comes back to Carlson. Cantilla off to Dunn. Dunn chips it out wide, and the mark's taken out here by Jordan for Tiwi. He goes long to half forward, and use of the body down there by Kim Cantilla got his opponent under the ball, and he took the mark, thought about playing on, but decided to go back for the set shot. So Kim Cantilla, of course, was a Waratah player before this year, as was Henry Keranua, both playing for Tiwi today.
Yes, so I'm just going to say I'd expect the siren to go any second. There's the siren. It's an opportunity just to keep them very much a part of this game. Here for Cantilla.
Kick looks good. It is good, and It's their first goal for the quarter, and it comes after the siren at half-time, but an important one there. Just raise the spirits a bit going into half-time, and yeah, Kim Cantilla has been an impressive player again, and a cool head there with the set shot after the siren, gets it on the board, but it was a quarter dominated by Waratah with 5 goals to 1 in the quarter, Tara.
That's it. Look, we'll be right back just after this short messages and half-time break.
You are one of over 148,000 people living in an area at risk of being affected by a cyclone this wet season. In your cyclone kit, you'll need a battery-operated radio, a torch with spare batteries, enough food, and at least 10 litres of water per person to sustain you and your family for 72 hours or more. All important documentation such as passports, treasured photos, and insurance policies should be kept in a safe and waterproof place. Be prepared this wet season.
Long left foot kick, inside forward 50, looking for Calder down there. Got his hands to the ball, but spilled it. There's a snapshot on goal. Looks pretty good, and it's gone straight through the middle for the first goal of the game. Loose ball at half forward. Hand pass comes back with Kluski's in the action again, but coughs it up, and here's a snapshot from goal from out wide. Looks good. It is good. It's straight through from Luke McConnell out here, close to the boundary line, and a fantastic finish. Again, Saints around the pack, just too clean with the hands, and get the long kick in. Here's a chance, top of the goal square once again. It's kicked off the ground. It's another St Mary's goal. They're celebrating down there once again himself, and just flicks it over the top to over end, kicks inside forward 50, and that's a good mark in between a couple of Saints players, and it's the captain. No, it's not. It's Brad Ryan, in fact. His brother, who's up forward.
On 27 minutes here, so the siren's going to go. Passes it off.
Handed it off to Williams, who ducks one way, then the other. Eventually gets around, has a kick at goal, and he's just got it over the hands on the goal line. So a couple of really important late goals here for Pint. Saints have rebounded again. Calder with the hand pass over the top. Dylan Lant throws it across his boot, and that's a fantastic finish from deep in that left forward pocket. A check side kick on the left foot. Gets it out into space at half forward. It's bouncing out here. It's going to be a foot race to get there. Oh, the bounce doesn't favour Pint. It does favour Jackson Calder, who swings around on the right boot. He's signalling to the crowd as the ball's halfway there. He knew exactly the shape that it was going to take, and he's hooked that one back for another goal. Jurgwin, who eventually has the ball caught underneath him. It's squirted out now. Here's a chance for Pint. The snapshot for goal looks good. I think it is. It's straight through the middle. And that's a terrific finish by Jed Connolly. Out there wide at half forward. He looks to go short. He's just dropped it short of Souter. He picks it up on the half wall. He gets a hand pass. Parides running through, receives, has a snapshot at goal. And I think he's done it again. He has. So Pint the chance as Chalmers swings around on the right boot, kicks inside forward 50. There's danger here as it's toe poked off the ground and through. That was Holt Fitz, I think, and almost an accidental goal. Calder gets a fist to it. Kluski runs onto it, runs back inboard, hooks over his shoulder, if you don't mind. And gee, there was plenty of traffic out there, plenty of white jumpers around him, but he just managed to find a metre of space and got it onto the right foot over the shoulder, and another beautiful finish. Bowls over his opposite number and wins the hit out. Cleverly out of the air was Robinson on the left foot, gets it into the danger spot. Calder hand passes over the top. He's got Jack Lant running in on the left foot, and Jack Lant, one of Saints' multiple goal kickers, adds another to his tally. And
maybe a bit of work more on their defence, or you know. That's the siren, I think, as well, to end this game. Go.
Yeah, I think most players on the field are pretty happy that siren's gone. But there's just things that they've got to get right, and certainly going into attack. You know, we saw early in the first quarter they bombed the ball a lot, and Saints just ate that up. Of it in the opening minutes of this quarter. Kicks wide, he's got players in space out there, and that might be Bolch again. I think he's got a long shot, he likes it, he's celebrating, and through for another goal. So now as they find a target forward, and Mary Dunn gets the kick in. It's Brendan Cantilla at ground level, swings it around, and through for Tiwi's first goal. Has done brilliantly to trap that, and kicks inside 50, ground level. Bolch shrugs the tackle, swings around on across the boot, and this time he makes no mistake. Darwin inside forward 50, ball stumped away, but they've got the numbers at ground level. It's Bolch again, kicking long towards goal. I think he's got another one. That goal umpire says yes. We're underway again. Carlson Cantilla with that hit out of the ruck contest down to Brendan Cantilla, and he drills the pass out in front to Ross Tungatala.
Part of this young Tiwi Bombers side have someone like Rocco back in the side again with them.
Look at the kick.
There's nothing old about that kick.
No, sensational. So Iris Raymond on the outer wing. Raymond drills a pass into Stafford, sliding on his knees, takes a mark now, he plays on, runs away from the player on the mark, kicks towards goal, and he's kicked the goal, just snuck it inside that left-hand goal post, but inside forward 50. Well, the mark spilt down there, and Paddy Heenan at ground level picks it up eventually, shrugs the tackle off, kicks towards goal. It's going into the goal square. Cleverly left down there by Thaddeus Port Jimmy. It was some strong body work by Heenan, just shoved his opponent out the way. It slips out the back now, and Thompson's going to run onto this one. If he can pick it up cleanly, he does. Goes on with the check side from about 15 metres out directly in front.
Or of just possession.
So Stokes wins it from the hit out, on the left foot, swings towards goal. Jared Stokes, the captain. How many times have we seen that, Tara, over the years? And just another clinical finish. Bit of a fumble before it came over the top, and now it's back in the hands of Raymond out there in the forward pocket. The ball's gone forward, and that's going to be the easiest of goals to Nick Yarran as the hand pass came over the top, and he just walked into the goal line and put it through. Brendan Cantilla goes forward again. Mary Dunn swings a hand pass back to Cantilla. He's got some space, runs in with a bounce now, kicks towards goal, and he's put it through. So a quick reply to Tiwi. That was good running football. Up to Premier League now. As Paddy Heenan gets on the end of this one, runs onto it with a bounce, kicks on the outside of the boot to the advantage of Gibson Turner. Turner tries to bounce it through and does so. Probably could have chipped a drop punt through from there, but across the boot and dribbled it through the wing. It's a bit misdirected, but allows Bolch to run onto it. Hand pass up to Mensch. Mensch has Munkara out the back, and also Chris Williams down there. It goes through Williams' hands. The hand pass comes to Munkara eventually. He swings around on the left foot, hooks the ball back, and that's another goal to Darwin in the final quarter here, and another fantastic finish. This time William Munkara from behind, and swooping on it down there was Antonio James. Got the hand pass across as the siren goes to end the game. It's a comfortable margin for Darwin Buffaloes in the end, but
season so far. Started the year off so well. As the first takeaway from the middle will come to Arbon of Wanderers, but the mark has been... Did he kick the wrong way then, or I missed the player? Taken on the chest. Someone's confused. I'm not sure it's me or the players, but my eyes are just settling into the bright sunshine as the kick from directly in front from Jack O'Sullivan, and it's the opening goal inside the first 40 seconds, Gray, to Waratah. Out there today for Waratah. Gray?
No, you're on the money there, Rob. There's a lot of players to come back.
Here's the dangerous Munkara. He ran onto the ball from 50. Beautiful strike of the footy, and Munkara kicks the first of, I reckon, quite a few today, Gray. 4-5 to 3 behinds.
But here they come again.
Yeah. Henry White's doing a few nice things. Centering ball is good. The mark is taken at centre half forward by Marley King going into quarter time. King's been good. Just crosses 50. Plenty of distance. It swings from left to right and goes through for a much needed goal for Wanderers. Well played. Taylor wasn't great. Arbon left it for his teammate, and that's poor play by Wanderers. Comes to Magro. There are 4 red jumpers around the footy. Magro loops the handball to O'Sullivan, who now has 3. And that was poor defence, mucked up by Arbon and Taylor.
There was Anthony Munkara getting it out to Carroll.
Yep, Carroll in towards the pocket. Hutt's centering ball. A superb play on the call, though. Taken by Magro. Shrug the tackle. Snap on goal. He's got 3. Well played, Waratah. Up goes Kiranua, too tall for him. Hutt at the back of the pack. Tight angle, runs around, snap from 15 metres, and finally they get another goal. First goal for Toby Hutt for the afternoon. Cassidy, watch out, Easter's coming hard. Gives it inboard to Pulling, back to McKenzie. He juggles the footy, shrugs the tackle. This will be a terrific goal by McKenzie. Great way to start the third quarter. Takeaway. Up to half forward. McKenzie again. Might have 2 in 20 seconds. He has. What a great goal that is. Oh, it's child's play out there. Kicks in towards half forward. Out on a long lead comes O'Sullivan. Little kick over the top was good. Kirby runs onto the footy. Big Arnold bangs his first through for the afternoon, and much deserved as well. He away by White, play on the call, comes to Cassidy, sweeps the handball over the top, unselfish to McKenzie, back to Carroll, runs to 30 metres, and a great goal by Waratah. Unselfish football inside the forward 50. Sore fist, wouldn't he?
Which is a terrible thing to get in football, of course. Here's a go for Munkara.
On the left boot, Munkara gets his second. Finally it comes for Anthony Munkara. 21st for Waratah.
It's just been a regular occurrence.
They might get a late goal, but there once more on the half volley. Handball back to McLean. Oh, the kick was smothered, but it ricochets back, and Braden McLean gets Wanderers' third goal. Well, that's a little bit of good fortune. 70 from goal, plays on quickly, wants Magro once more, gets the spill, handball over the top unselfishly. Hutt gives it back for 10 to Magro. Is it 10 or 9? 10.
I think that's 9.
9, I'm too excited. For a 131-point win. He's away to the right-hand side, and it's a behind only. So Waratah finish a massive tally of 23-16, 154 to 310-28. What a performance by the Tars.
Looking for a fun day out with your family or friends? Putt on over to Palmerston Mini Golf. With our beautifully landscaped course suitable for all ages, you'll have a blast playing mini golf here at Palmerston. We offer the perfect setting for kids' birthday parties, complete with special packages to make their day unforgettable. And if you're looking to have some fun with your mates, we have you covered too. Play during the day or under lights. We're open until 10 p.m.
And we'll see you around Palmerston Mini Golf.
Find us at the Palmerston Golf and Country Club.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the third quarter here of the Tiwi Bombers taking on Waratah for round 6 action here at TIO Stadium, home of territory footy. A great first half of footy. Tiwi started off really strong in the opening kind of 10 minutes of that first quarter, Stu, but Waratah flexed their muscles and obviously at this point doubled their score. Yeah,
Tiwi were on fire, weren't they? The first 3 goals of the game, and we thought, here we go, Tiwi back to what they were a number of years ago, but Waratah a quality side, and they steadied and really have dominated the game since about the halfway mark of the first quarter. Anyway, we're underway again, and it's Tars with first hands on the ball as the hand pass sweeps out wide here to Morris. He gives it back, but Tiwi putting the pressure on. Cantilla just falls over the top of his opponent there, and the ball works towards the boundary line and just dribbles over, and it'll be a boundary throw in once again.
It's not a bad result there for Tiwi. We know that with Collis involved, that can go, and he has a lot of control over that football and could have been put straight into their forward line, so evens it out here.
So from the throw in, Cantilla at ground level did well to give it to Heenan. Heenan looking to go wide to Tipalura. He just controls the short pass forward. That was nicely done. And Rhett Jordan gets on the end of that for Tiwi. He's calling for players to lead towards the pocket. He goes that way in the air, and down there was Francis Tipungwoody, but had the ball smashed away from him over the boundary line. And it'll be a throw-in in the right forward pocket for Tiwi, kicking towards the airport end of the ground in this third quarter.
So it's been rather still this afternoon. The wind hasn't favoured any side.
Jordan and Kenner. Jordan gets the hit out, goes backwards here where Tom Spence was caught with the ball. He just was slipping in his hands, and eventually it fell out, and so it'll be a Tiwi free kick, and Tiwi teammates all getting around the young fella Francis Tipungwoody. As I said, 16-year-old. I'm pretty confident that this is his first game in the Tiwi senior side, and he's got a chance to get himself a goal on the board. He's given himself a reasonable run up, Tara, about 30 metres, I think. So he's going to settle himself, and comes in now, or chips the ball and just put it into the goalpost. Unfortunately, yeah, I think that long run up was out of nervousness rather than routine. But unfortunately, not the early goal that Tiwi were looking for. And now Gleeson brings the ball back into play for Tars to the outer side of the ground. There's plenty of white jumpers out there, but it's Tiwi at ground level who control it. And now a chance to go forward again. That's a scrubbing kick and tidied up by Collis across half back. Tars using it nicely through the hands, and Collis gets on the end of it again. He's got a teammate out in plenty of space down here, and that's Mackenzie. Mackenzie runs onto it, drills the pass in, finds Magro out on the lead, and Michael Dunn fell pretty heavily on him at the end of all that, and they're just untangling themselves a bit. I think Magro's pulled up a bit sore here.
Yeah.
So
no kind of malice in it, I don't think.
No. But he's all right now, but he's got the mark about 40 out from goal on a pretty tight angle in the left forward pocket.
I think that Dunn may have come off injured in that as well. You can see him kind of healing on the ground there.
I would think that Magro might be able to just slip around him if he wanted to, but going through his routine with the set shot now, and kicks high towards goal. I think that's floating across the face and stays just inside that right hand behind post, for or behind. So one behind apiece in this quarter, and it's Tiwi looking to bring the ball outer side of the ground. Dali's kick just chopped off by Munkara with one hand there. He wheels back and gets on the end of it, hand passes forward, but some pressure from the Tiwi forwards stopped Tars clearing it out of defence cleanly. They've worked it out towards the back half, but Now the mark taken by Ryan Clark. He chips in short. It's too short. Comes back to Clark now in some space. He chips the ball inside across towards half forward. And getting on the end of that was Scott Carlin. And Carlin takes the mark about 35 out directly in front for Waratah.
So he's placed well here. You'd expect that this one might be a easy one for Carlin.
Yeah, he's a quality player, and he's had a fair bit of the ball today. Kicks on the way. He's pushed that one out to the right, though. So no goal once again.
So a few inaccuracies early on for the Tars. Bombers need to be efficient here with this kick out. They've got a few options here on the grandstand wing.
Yeah, just interesting to see that Tars have pushed O'Sullivan into defence. We talked about him being a swing player before, and Josh Smith has gone into the forward line by the looks of things. So just changing things up a bit as Tiwi work it out of defence, and Brendan Cantilla switches inboard, finds Tipalura, who went to play on, lost his footing. He's allowed to go back over the mark, and he's got Brendan Cantilla short again. Doesn't go that way and chips backwards instead. And now Tiwi just trying to work the ball forward as Blackney Noda gets on the end of this one and chips out wide, looking for Michael Dunn in a bit of space on the outer side. He takes the mark now and he's off and running. Goes short to Carlson Cantilla around the outer wing, but he really hasn't got a lot to go to forward. Goes short in the end and picked up on the half volley by Tipungwuti. Tipungwuti works himself into a bit of trouble, gets the hand pass over the top to Cantilla, inboard to Puruntatameri Dunn, who swings back inboard, now kicks high towards full forward and running out from the goal square. The mark's taken. It's Brendan Cantilla was setting himself, but out on the lead was Kim Cantilla, who just snatched it out of the air and took the mark about 25 out directly in front.
That's it. So it'd be his second shot for goal here today. I don't believe he's only just got the one far.
That one after the siren at half time. So would in fact be 2 in a row for him if he can score this one.
The wind has shifted a tiny bit, might be in his favour.
Kicks on the way, straight through the middle, no problem whatsoever. And so we are 7 minutes into this third quarter, and the first goal of the quarter goes to Tiwi. Obviously they would like to string a few together and get themselves right back into the game.
That's it there. So we watch the replay here. Good from Puruntatameri Dunn. Pushed in here, and a great vision there from Kim Cantilla.
Yep. Yeah, out on the lead. That was fair enough. He was the player in front, but had the insurance of Brendan Cantilla sitting underneath it. But yeah, Tar just got a bit sloppy in their forward half then and paid for it in the end. Had some opportunities, but Cantilla wins the hit out, then does the tackling on the rebound. Puruntatameri Dunn loses control of the ball and now scoops it out. It's hacked off the ground, and Tiwi looking to go forward again, but working back. Tars with some numbers. Will Clark gets tackled strongly there, and the ball's caught up underneath, and it'll be a ball up at the front edge of the 50-metre square in towards Tiwi's attacking zone. Cantilla again wins a hit out over the top, but Tars at ground level work it through the hands. Gleeson hand passes forward as he's tackled as Thompson gets a hand pass out the back to Carlson Cantilla, and he chips the ball out wide here nicely to Francis Tipungwuti. His kick's too short and straight into the hands of James Waratah at half back for Waratah. He's got a player down the wing, and he goes that way. The kick's good to Tyson McKenzie. He's been impressive today. Takes the mark and chips inboard. He's got a couple of options and goes the longer one over the top to Pulling, who went by hand to Collis. Collis down to half forward, but Darley's read that best and takes the intercept mark. Now he's off and running, chips short. That's going to miss the target as well, and Collis just comes in, picks it up, and it's left a hole at half forward where the big fella Toby Hutt has found some space. He's got Magro out on the lead. The pass was beautiful to Magro, and there was nothing that Michael Dunn could do to stop that one.
So he'll be looking to kick from about 45 or so out, you'd think.
Jaden Magro.
Giving himself a big run up here. Good left foot.
Yeah, he's a strong, powerful kick. But just the one goal so far today as he steps over the line of 50. There's plenty of shots have drifted that way today, out towards the right at that end of the ground. And that's gone all the way out of bounds on the full. So Tiwi bring it in round the outer side. Rhett Jordan takes the mark and he's off and running. He's got to pinpoint the pass in between Tars defenders down here, and he does as Tiwi go round the outer side of the ground. Alman Kenny works his way to the front but couldn't control the ball, and now Tars with the numbers work it through the hands. Tackled down there was Gleeson, but the ball spills out now. Gleeson's on his feet again and receives and now delivers the ball towards half forward. Magro takes the mark, he's off straight away, sweeps the hand pass out to Hutt. Hutt looking for a player on the lead. Munkara, that's beautiful delivery once again, and Anthony Munkara hands out in front, takes the mark, and he'll have a set shot for goal from about 35 out.
That was a strong mark there from Munkara, under pressure from behind for the Tiwi player. First opportunity today for goal.
Yeah, hasn't done a lot today, has he? Had a couple of flashes of action and some brilliant work, but here's a chance for him to get himself on the board, kicking towards the Michael Long centre end of the ground. I think he's allowed for the breeze a bit that time and just kept it inside the left-hand goalpost, and he celebrates with his teammates as they all run to him, obviously appreciating the significance of scoring against the Tiwi Bombers, where obviously is his home country, but he gets himself on the board for Waratah in the third quarter.
If we watch this passage of play here, good from Magro here, pushing that one in through Hutt, and then this strong mark here from Munkara under pressure. You see he landed a bit funny there and I wasn't sure if he'd come off, but strong kick. And the celebration, I want to say he went with the Charlie Cameron and the motorbike handle. Yep, called it. How good is it? Love it. That one might make the AFLNT Instagram next week, I reckon. We've got great photographer down there at the right angle, right time, right place, I think. So we'll see what that one looks like next week. And we're back in the centre.
Oh, Cantilla High in the ruck contest got it down to Karanua. Karanua on the left, chips it short. Puruntatameri Dunn in front. Just got worried out of it by Magro in the end, and Clark coming in. Ryan Clark gave the hand pass, then received back. Has a bounce while he sums up what's ahead of him and delivers beautifully into the forward line, and Josh Smith takes a strong mark in front of Blackney Nota just inside the forward 50 line there. He'll be kicking from outside. He's got a player running forward and he chips out that way, and that was Ed Morris, who just ran forward there and into some space and took the mark probably about 10 metres closer to goal.
There's another impressive player from last year's Premiership campaign, Morris.
Yep, Morris kicks towards goal now. It's going right to the line, but again just missing to the right hand side and a behind only. So 13 minutes into the quarter, it's a little bit of a stalemate this quarter, just the one goal apiece as Darley brings the ball into play to Dunn. Dunn to Karanua at half back, and Darley looking to run off of Karanua, but eventually he chips out wide to Jordan. Jordan goes long round the outer side, a big leap from behind from Puruntatameri Dunn, brought the ball to ground, and now at ground level just spilt forward there by Dale Cunningham and couldn't control the ball, and the Tars defenders closed and worked it over the boundary line. It'll be a boundary throw in.
Tiwi are efficient with this. They might have an option here just to get on the board again for the second time in the quarter.
So boundary throw in, Cantilla from behind. At ground level, the quick kick comes out of the pack, but Tars are set up behind the ball here, and it's marked by Gleeson, who swings grandstand side to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan goes further this way and Crocker just had enough pressure on to affect his mark, but recovered well, got it to Collis. Collis hand passes over the top to Reynolds. Reynolds sweeps the ball inboard to Gleeson. Gleeson to Carlin. Carlin off to Carroll. Carroll handballs inboard to Smith. Smith kicks wide to the outer side of the ground. Good work by Hutt once again. Hand passes backwards now, and there's a chance for Clark. He swings the hand pass now, receives it back inside 50, kicks high towards the goal line, but that one's just slid off the side of the boot and out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, it's been interesting. They've all, for Waratah, I think if we were to have in the cricket where all the balls stop, it will be a lot in that area.
Yeah, that's right.
That pattern there from Waratah.
Michael Dunn goes straight up the ground. It's a good kick and a good mark taken here by Thaddeus Port Jimmy. He's got a player out wide in Stanley Tipalura, but it's not going to get as far as him as Brody Carroll comes in and gets a hand to it. Hand passes back here to Crocker. Crocker short to Carlin. He sweeps the hand pass inboard to Collis. Collis running to 50. Now tries to drill a pass. It bounces, but Blackney Noda works back, gets a hand to it. And just before Munkara could take possession, Blackney Noda got a hand to it and knocked it out towards the boundary line where it eventually rolled over.
He's worked hard today, Blackney Noda, so to continue to still have that kind of driving force late, kind of midway through the third quarter, is impressive.
So it looks like Hutt and Darley to do the ruck work. Darley works his way to the front, tried to take the ball but couldn't. Mackenzie picks it up, swings towards goal, but again off to the right and to behind once more.
So it just extends that lead further for the Tars. Tiwi 6-5-41 to Tars 12-8-80.
Yeah, just the one goal apiece, as we said, in this quarter, and we're 16.5 minutes in. Blackney Noda runs out of the goal square, kicks long around the grandstand side. Clash of bodies in the marking contest. It spills out here, and a sweeping hand pass comes inboard to Spence. Spence goes long towards the top of the goal square. Oh, flying back with the flight of the ball down there was Ian Karanua. Didn't really get anywhere near it, but no damage done, fortunately. But it'll be a ball up. Straight out from the Waratah goal. Blackney Noda trying to get some leap on it. He was certainly outsized as it falls to ground now. The hand pass comes out. Ryan Clark has a snap for goal, and has swung this across the face to the left this time. And another behind. So I think that's 1 goal 5 to 1 goal 1 for the quarter. So yeah, not a quarter to write home about. Nothing like the first quarter where we had 10 goals scored.
Yes. Which would be interesting to see how we go here. So just over the 17.5 minute mark here, third quarter. If Tiwi can respond.
So the short pass to Braden Wiley in defence. Wiley swings around and kicks long here and finds Carlson Cantilla. Reaches up and takes a nice mark, hands it off, and now Tiwi off and running. Brendan Cantilla in a bit of space forward of the ball. Kim Cantilla kept running after delivering to him. He's called to play on. Hand passes back to Tipalura, gets past an opponent there and goes close to the boundary line, tries to drill a pass forward to Braden Rioli, but that one's easily chopped off by O'Sullivan. He's called to play on now, but he's got assistance deeper in defence from Gleeson. Gleeson goes wide to the outer side of the ground. That's a hopeful kick, and just good work on the bounce by Hutt out there, controlled it, and now Tars have got players in some space as Poulsen takes the mark on the outer wing, chips the ball inboard to Mackenzie. Mackenzie takes the mark, and Poulsen kept running and took the mark at the front edge of the centre square. Drills the pass looking for Magro once again, but couldn't take the mark. The ball's caught up underneath him, and in fact the umpire says the tackle was too rigorous, and in the back Magro stands up, runs around, kicks long towards goal. Munkara just controlled his opponent, held his space, and took a strong contested mark deep in that left forward pocket. Munkara steps around now, hooks the ball back, and that's a beautiful finish. So he's got another goal. He's got to both of Waratah's goals in this second quarter, and a good finish from that left forward pocket.
As you said, kind of agreed with you there, Stu. Had a quiet opening term there and opening half of footy, but really stood up in this third quarter.
That's right. He's kicked their only 2 goals and has been a focal point up forward with Hutt doing a fair bit of the ruck work and O'Sullivan pushing back into defence. So, just changed things up a bit, Tars, in this quarter. But I guess from Tiwi's perspective, the good thing is that they've prevented Tars from running on with the game, as it looked a chance to do in that second quarter.
Yeah, definitely, and probably just a credit for that Munkara goal there was the work rate from Paulson through the offside wing there.
Yep.
Credit to him, obviously fresh inclusion into the Premier League side this season.
Carlson Cantilla with the thumping hit out. Tipalura at ground level gets it to Port Jimmy. Port Jimmy off to Darley. Darley kicks down towards the forward pocket and just out of the outstretched hands of Rioli down there. Just couldn't hold on to it, and it's dribbled over the boundary line for a throw in.
And that's been a shift there, moving Rioli forward this quarter. Played defensively pretty much whole game last week, and then again just for the opening half of this one. So interesting to see what he does here.
Bit of push and shove around the contest here as Brendan Cantilla tries to make some ground. Good use of the ball through the hands from Tars. And the short pass, and the mark is paid to Pulling. Alex Pulling at half-back. He's got O'Sullivan on the switch if he wants him. Has a look, but eventually decides to go that way and goes all the way back to the goal square. O'Sullivan's got a runner in Catanach. He's looking further afield to Carroll, who's screaming for it down there. Carroll runs onto it nicely, got his hands to it, but it's spilled out the back. But at ground level, Ryan Clark hand passes forward, but missed the target and gives Tiwi the opportunity coming in. The ball ricochets a couple of times and falls to Port Jimmy on the left, long towards half forward, but that one's pretty easily chopped off by Nick Hoare out there, who chips the pass inboard to Alex Pulling at half-back, centre half-back for Waratah. Just slowing things down and controlling. He goes short to Will Clark, who takes the mark under a bit of pressure from behind, but he chips to Collis. So it's all a bit stagnant at the moment, just some chip passes, and this one's picked up on the half volley by Ryan Clark. He's run himself into a bit of trouble, gets a hand pass to Will Clark. His hand pass is smothered. Tipalura now gets a hand pass off to Carlson Cantilla. He's got a player free inside forward 50. It's Brendan Cantilla. He kicks towards goal and he likes it, and Tars were just a bit static there, kicking to short to not much movement, and eventually it turned over, and Tiwi on the rebound got it to Brendan Cantilla in space in the forward half, and we know what a user of the ball he can be.
So this was good here from Carlson Cantilla, who laid the tackle on Clark early, and then Tipalura, and then the pass back to Cantilla. Beautifully done.
Brendan, all the Cantillas involved.
That's it.
Been really impressed by Carlson Cantilla this year. He's just exploded onto the scene really in NTFL football.
Big time.
Out of nowhere.
Played majority, pretty much all of his football with the TIFL competition over in the islands, and I think that's one obviously huge benefit of that competition shifting away from that wet season where it operates and coincides with the NTFL. This year was the first time that we've moved it to, AFLNT's moved it to that dry season competition, and it means that these players are coming in fighting fit. They're coming fresh out of other seasons, and the opportunities for these guys to get a Guernsey and play for the Bombers has arrived. So, no, it's great.
So we're 23 minutes into this third quarter, just 2 goals apiece, so won't go that long as Cantilla gets another hit out, this time to Thompson. He hand passes underground to Tipalura as Tiwi were looking to go forward again, but the siren beats them, so pretty much a stalemate in that quarter, couple of goals each. Tars probably just nudged a few points further ahead, but Tiwi have kept themselves in the game at three-quarter time.
Yeah, very much so. Tiwi 7-5-47 to Waratah's 13-9-87. It's a 40-point ball game. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter here of Tiwi Bombers taking on Waratah in a few short moments.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gents. We're here with round 6 action, the final quarter here of Tiwi Bombers taking on Waratah. 40 points in it.
Kenner reaching over the top, gets it down to Brodie Carroll. Carroll streams away from the centre, kicks long towards half forward. Hutt got his hands to the ball, couldn't take the mark. Brendan Cantilla at ground level chips the pass into Blackney Noda in the goal square. He's got runners outside, grandstand side. Port Jimmy had a look before he took the mark, but managed to recover and now ducks around and kicks short, and he finds Rhett Jordan at half-back. Jordan has a player over the back. That's a good kick, and he finds Tipping Woody kicking inboard. He's given that a bit too much elevation for the likes of Cunningham, but running in was Puruntatameri Dunn onto that one. Drills the ball inside forward 50, but well read out there by Jack O'Sullivan for Waratah in defence. And he takes that mark and now kicks wide around the outer side of the ground, and they're often running again inside the centre square. The ball slips out the back. Cutting across there was Brown for Tiwi. He swings the kick around and just misses his target there, and Tars at ground level. It's picked up by Clark, who got a bit of a push as he kicked the ball, but now Tars centre it into half forward where Big Hutt takes the mark. He looks for something further afield, and he's got his teammate running forward there, Will Clark, who's run forward from defence, and he takes the mark inside forward 50 and will go back for the set shot.
Yeah, so just a big opening few minutes, or 2 minutes there from Waratah. Had a strong push forward from Tiwi, but just turned over.
So Will Clark looking for his first goal of the day. Kicks on the board. It's good. Straight through the middle. No problem whatsoever. And Waratah with the first score of the final quarter, and Will Clark gets himself on the board.
So just extends their lead there. Bombers 7-5-47 to the Tars 14-9-93. Just watching the replay back here. Just a nice strong kick there from Clark.
Yep, so Clark goes back to his position on the wing, and yeah, that was, I think, realistically Tara for Tiwi to have a chance. They needed to score first in this final quarter.
Yeah.
But,
we've seen what that does in terms of it lifts momentum there for the Tiwi Bombers, gets them up and about. So if they can kind of strike the board early here, they might have an opportunity, but they need to work hard.
Carlson Cantilla flicked that one over the back, but it was well read at ground level, and pulling, kicks Waratah forward again. Munkara at ground level, picks up, snaps towards goal, but that was never coming back enough, and just sneaks in for a behind.
So just the 2 goals, 1 behind there for Munkara for the match so far. Tiwi with options here on the grandstand wing.
So Brown brings the ball into play, or changed his mind and almost got trapped there, but Carlson Cantilla works his way to the front, just brought it down to Port Jimmy, sweeps the hand pass over the top to Alaman Kinney, just does well to get out of trouble through the traffic there, got it forward to Tipping Woody kicks forward towards half forward, but O'Sullivan read it again beautifully, picked it up on the bounce and drives it back towards the centre of the wing. Carlson Cantilla steaming through, takes possession of the ball, ducks around one, then gets caught, got a boot to the ball. Ryan Clark hand passes forward as he's tackled. The hand pass comes out here to Will Clark. He gets bumped off the ball, and now Tiwi with a sweeping hand pass over the back. Carlson Cantilla through the hands to Darley. His hand pass goes behind Brendan Cantilla. He tries to chip it inboard to Blackney Noda. He runs onto it, got caught with it, and the ball spilled out. Munkara for Tars sweeps in and picks it up on the left foot, drills a pass forward. It's a good looking pass, but goes through the hands down there. Brown, oh, that's almost a throw as he scooped it out the back, and all fair. And Brendan Cantilla delivers nicely to Stanley Tipalura, just between halfback and wing on the grandstand side. He goes all the way back to Brendan Cantilla, who's looking to switch. He does so now and finds Brown right back about 15 metres out from the Waratah goal, but not a lot to go to. He's got Tipalura out wide here. He goes further And looking down there for Jordan, who got one hand to the ball, and now at ground level it's Waratah with the numbers. A bit of a clumsy attempt there, but Mankara gets the hand pass back to Clark, and Will Clark just delivers the ball inside forward 50 to Carlin, who made a little bit of space and takes the mark.
So having a look here, got the wind moving its way there. It's definitely might be favourable considering the angle that he's kicking here.
So Scott Carlin puts it up, allows the breeze to get hold of it, but he's just pulled it across the face and through for a behind. And Sam Darley goes back to bring the ball back into play for Tiwi.
So not a lot of options here. He's got a few loose players close, but nothing in terms of a passage.
Tipalura is his target, and he just drops it nicely in between a couple of Tars players, and then runs on and receives back, kicks to the wing where Kim Cantilla's found some space. He's called to play on now. He swings around, and that's a good kick over the top, and finds Ian Kiranua. Kiranua's got a spare at half forward. That's Paddy Heenan. Heenan chips the pass looking for Kiranua, but it was just out in front of him, and again beautifully picked off by Jack O'Sullivan, and that allowed Tars to clear it out of defence. But at ground level, it's Thompson working hard for Tiwi as Kim Cantilla comes in to assist. He gets bundled over. The ball eventually lands with Thompson. Thompson kicks long inside forward 50, and getting on the end of it this time was Braden Rioli for Tiwi, deep in that right forward pocket, and took a nice mark in the end. And he's looking to hook this one round the corner with the set shot.
It's a hard angle.
He's changed his mind now. Going back to kick the drop punt. Just push that across the face, and it's gone right across. Maybe his first thought would have been the better option, Tara.
Yeah. No, so just across the face there, but just retrieving a footy. Looks like it's bounced over. It's a handy Waratah supporter there, helping out, trying to get a Guernsey.
So
no, again, it's the pick of the ball there.
He has to go and get the other one because it wasn't a score. So Brock Reynolds it is, who'll bring it back in for Tars. He's got pulling short, but doesn't go that way, and out of defence. Dylan Collis just chips across the front and takes the mark. Tries to swing that one back, but only into the hands of Stanley Tipalura. Tipalura's got a leading player at half forward. He's given that a bit of air, and it's going to float over the top, and that's easy pickings for Jack O'Sullivan. He takes that mark and now drives Tars out of defence again. Brown comes across, gets a hand to the ball and controls it in the end on the ground, and thumps it forward again for Tiwi and finds Alamankini out wide. So Jaden Alamankini just inside forward 50 out wide. He's looking to move it on now and kicks high towards the goal square, but that's close to the boundary line out there, and eventually off hands and over for a stoppage in the right forward pocket for Tiwi. 8.5 minutes gone, third quarter. Just the one goal for the quarter so far to Will Clark of Waratah, but Tiwi with a chance from this stoppage. So from the throw in, it's Tars get their hands on the ball, but now at ground level, O'Sullivan again gives the hand pass, receives back from Clark, and now goes long down the wing. It's a 2-on-1 here in Tiwi's favour as Brendan Cantilla tries to control it at ground level. He gets worried out of it by Poulsen, who did really well. Sweeps the hand pass inboard to Carlin, and Poulsen's made space forward again, but it slips over the back. This time to Hutt. He hand passes to Mankara, who's run on. He runs inside forward 50 with a bounce, has a long shot at goal, if you don't mind. It's gone all the way through, and he was looking inboard quickly, but then changed his mind, kicked long towards goal, and never looked like missing. Straight as a die through the middle, and he's kicked 3 second half goals now.
It's been great to have Anthony Mankara back in the NTFL season. He's been absolutely dominant these first 6 rounds of footy.
Just look at the class, can't you, when he's got the ball in hand, has a bounce, has a quick look inboard, says, no, I'll do it myself, and from there it was never missing.
No, it's been great to have him back in the NTFL competition, as he had a ripping opening round of footy. I want to say he kicked 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6, yeah.
5 or 6 against Southern Districts in the grand final rematch. Just gone from stride to stride ever since. So, no, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Anthony Munkara in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's a class player, and of course the rep side was announced this week. Rep game was announced this week, and he'll be one of the contenders to play in that, you would think, as Tars going forward again. And Ryan Clark's just got busier as the game's gone on, got plenty of touches of the ball, got another one there, and Carlin chips it out wide, and now Tars coming inboard. The mark's taken here by Alex Pulling, and he's about 60 out from goal, looking for some leads. He gets one eventually. This one's going to be chopped off, I think, or poor Jimmy got a hand to it, but at ground level, Magro butters up and has a flying snap towards goal, but it's gone across the face and through for a behind. So Blackney Noda,
quick play on.
Yep, out of the defensive goal square, has a bounce, now sweeps the hand pass forward to Brendan Cantilla. He hand passes over the top to Alaman Kinney, by hand to Paddy Heenan, and now it's opened up in front for them as running onto it out here. The mark's taken by Dale Cunningham over the back. He's got players running forward. He jips short and finds Francis Tippenwoody, who had a set shot in the third quarter that just hit the goal post, and now he goes back and will have another opportunity.
So he's not in a bad spot here. He'll be looking at about 45 out.
Yeah, of course, kicking into the breeze that's there, but hasn't got a lot of meat on his bones. But
no, he doesn't.
Comes in now, the kick's swinging back on the breeze. I think it's good. It's got there over the line, and he celebrates, and his teammates get around him. That's his first goal in NTFL Premier League football, and good on him. He's kept working hard all day, got on the end of a couple, and now gets himself on the scoreboard as well.
How good's that? Just 16 years old. That's Francis Tippenwoody there, with a beautiful kick and a beautiful floated kick and mark that he's made there as well. So
yeah, and it was good use of the ball by Tiwi from defence, working it down the ground, and just got players out over the back as Braden Rioli comes back onto the field, going into defence with not moving all that well by the looks of him. But he'll get himself inside that defensive 50 and we'll get underway again. So Tiwi get an answering goal in this final quarter eventually as we tick towards 13 minutes at ground level. The clearance again from Darley out to the outer side of the ground. Some clever work at ground level by Cunningham. He chips the ball forward, and Tippenwoody out there just left the ball behind, but he's won himself a free kick as he was dealt with a bit harshly at ground level, and you can see that already that his confidence has risen with that goal. He hands it off to Darley. Darley chips the ball long into the forward pocket. Kim Cantilla in front, got his hands to the ball. It's punched away from behind and over the boundary line for a throw-in. So Kim Cantilla's spent a fair bit of the second half forward, I think, and as he does from time to time, but he's a valuable player through the midfield as well, obviously.
Speaking about the rep squads and sides coming up, obviously that match being confirmed yesterday for the 24th of January. Jack O'Sullivan's been absolutely fantastic for Waratah in that back line today. You can see that perhaps their scoring shots aren't as accurate as they would like, but in terms of where he's been in defence, he's absolutely working overtime. Yep.
As Thompson drills the ball into half forward, what's spilt there by Alaman Kinney off the chest, and now he's worried out of it, and Tar's looking to bring it away, and a free kick's been found here, and Garland comes wide looking for Paulson out on the wing, and he found a bit of space, took the mark over the top, now chips back inboard to Will Clark. Will Clark had a look laterally where Ryan Clark's yelling for it, but goes up the middle instead to Pulling, who eventually gets it out to Ryan Clark in some space, and he drills a pass looking for Magro, and a beautiful delivery inside 50 there as Magro got out on the lead, and he marks about 40 out directly in front.
So just managed to get away from Michael Dunn there and just get in front. So he's a dangerous player, Magro. We know he's got that massive left boot. breeze potentially in his favour. It's not been favourable to anyone today.
Magro thumps that one forward, but he's missed it out to the left. So Magro still with just the one goal today. He's had a few opportunities, but only the one goal on the board after, as we said, 9 last week. And chip pass in finds Brendan Cantilla, and now looking for Wiley here. He takes the mark at half back and immediately didn't look forward at all, went straight back to Cantilla, and they switch it around to the outer side of the ground where Blackney Noda's often running, and thumps a long kick down here looking to a one-on-one. Oh, big leap from behind. And the mark's taken by Francis Tipungwuti. Terrific mark there on the second grab, and now he chips it out wide where he's got Cunningham in some space. Cunningham drills a pass in looking for Kim Cantilla,
Nice.
and just chipped in front of O'Sullivan on that occasion. Was a well-weighted pass, and Cantilla ran onto it and took a nice mark in the hands.
That's fantastic. I want to say this will be the third for Cantilla today.
Yeah, that's right.
Get this one in.
Yeah. How good was that from Francis Tipungwuti out there? Just, I said his confidence had risen after that goal. And yeah, he just over the top took the mark and got it moving. And now Kim Cantilla finishes as we know he can. So he's kicked his third, as Tara said. And Tiwi have got a couple in a row as in the mid stages of this final quarter.
That's it. That pushes them up to 9,559 against Waratah's 1,303. So just watching the replay here. Look at this mark. You can see there was obviously argument there that it was touched. Umpires seen it differently in the feed in through the forward. Fantastic there. Third for Cantilla.
Yep, another great finish.
And gives Tiwi 9 goals.
So they've hung in, haven't they?
Yeah.
As they did last week. So they were 6 goals down at half time. They've maintained that in the second half. So you know they're a side that's you know, you wouldn't say as a premiership threat this year, but they're a rebuilding side, and some of those signs are good. That they're just staying in games. As Tipalura gets a hand pass forward, Carlson Cantilla trying to get it to Paddy Heenan, just out of his reach, but picks it up at ground level now. Hacks it off the ground. Collis has set himself up behind the play and just chips it out wide and finds Crocker on the outer side of the ground. Crocker goes short to Gleeson, I think it is, and he goes short to Carlson on the outer side of the ground on the outer wing, as they just look to chip it around again back to Crocker at half back. They've got players out wide here with their back to the ball, but eventually it's short, and that one's just a bit too short. Picked up on the half volley by Gleeson, and they chip it out wide again. The hand pass comes over the top. Gleeson kept running. He's got a player forward now, and he finds Booth at half forward. Booth's got Mackenzie at centre half forward and gets it over the top and finds him over the top of Blackney Noda there, and Mackenzie, about 55 out from goal, decides to thump it long. It's a huge kick. It's going to go all the way, I think. Gee, you got plenty on that from not much momentum, but banged into the goal post and a behind only for Tars. Maybe there's a bit more in that breeze than we were thinking, Tara.
I was just having a look at the flagpole. This is the first time I think I've ever seen the flags all three waving in a different direction. I can't tell you what's going on out there in terms of the breeze.
So Brendan Cantilla for Tiwi drills a pass, looking for Tipungwuti once
up
again.
And about, isn't he?
Is. So he's off now and ducks back inboard. Now kicks long out wide. If it can get over the top, he's got a couple of players there. Cunningham comes to meet it, gets it forward to Ian Keranua. Ian Keranua's chip pass out in front of Henry Keranua, who gets it on the bounce, and he's off and running. Has a bounce, ducks back inboard now, and hand passes over the top, looking for Puruntatameri Dunn. He takes it and now centres the ball. It's all white jumpers here though, but cutting in there, and play on's the call, as it looked like a obvious free kick, but Kim Cantilla's kick was smothered, and eventually it ricochets over the boundary line for a throw in. But yeah, the Tiwi players screaming for what they thought was a free kick, but wasn't paid, and we've got a stoppage again as we get close to time on in this final quarter. But yeah, O'Sullivan there again, just getting his hands and smothering that one over the line. So Jordan worked his opponent away, got the hand pass out. This is a high floating kick. It's
dangerous.
High in the air, but eventually spills out. Here's a kick at goal from Henry Kiranua, but he misses to the right, and it's a behind only for Tiwi.
So to give possession back to Waratah here. They've got the kick out.
Coming grandstand side. Will Clark, it's just gone away from him as Port Jimmy comes in, kicks the ball back inside forward 50, and Kim Cantilla at ground level again. Copped a high tackle, I think. That's the way it's been paid. There's a bit of an argument from the Waratah defenders, but not going to change the umpire's mind on that one, and it looked to be there. So Kim Cantilla with a chance for number 4. Just see on the replay. Yeah, his head was down over the ball. I think that's fair enough. Got to protect the player playing the ball at ground level, and Kim Cantilla with another opportunity.
So it's another one of those angles. There's been a few of these today.
So he runs around trying to hook this one back, but that's floating right across the face. There's no Tiwi players there at all, and the mark's taken by Jack O'Sullivan. He goes up the middle of the ground to Mackenzie. Mackenzie looking long here. That's a well-weighted kick. Finds Josh Smith. He's got runners out the back. Poulsen it is, who reaches over and takes a mark running with the flight of the ball as the Tiwi opponents closed on him. He's got players out wide, goes that way now, and that's a good pass. And I think you'll find it's Carlin that's got on the end of this one and taken the mark just inside forward 50.
Good to see off screen here, Captain, the ex-captain in Brody Carroll getting around Poulsen, and same with Don Booth to kind of give him a bit of encouragement on the decision to pass that one off. And it's good keeping these young boys as a part of the squad and obviously working with them. Yeah, and Carlin made no mistake with that one from 50, straight through the middle, and another Waratah goal in the final quarter, and another goal kicker for Tars as Carlin gets himself on the board. They've had a wide spread today, Stu, in terms of their goal kickers across the board. So we're just watching it here. You can see the kick in there from Poulsen. Good vision there. Off to Carlin. Yes, Scott Carlin, a quality player, and he finished nicely and then goes back into the middle for this centre bounce contest as Josh Smith has come in to do the ruck work against Carlson Cantilla, who hasn't had a chop out all day. I don't think. That he's absolutely just kept going and going. It doesn't matter where it was at the field. I think it's been him the whole day, except for a few moments in defence. Still jumping at it as Henry Kiranua gets it at ground level. He chips out wide here, as taken nicely on the bounce by Roy Cantilla. Drills the pass down and finds Kim Cantilla inside forward 50. So, and we talked about Kim Cantilla's value. He threw the middle of the ground, but he's a dangerous forward as well. And he's got on the end of a few passes inside forward 50 as he makes ground nicely. And now we'll go back for the set shot. You can see Waratah just off screen there, just limping off out of that contest. Combination of cramps, sore, hurt. It's a long game, and it's been a high contest game too. He always has plenty of strapping on that knee as well. Yes. So Kim Cantilla now with the set shot. Oh no, he's dragged that one to the left, and it's no score at all. Out of bounds on the full, unfortunately for Tiwi, as Waratah goes back to bring the ball back into play. Switches across the face of goal as the siren goes to end a pretty entertaining game of football, one which Tiwi looked to be on fire early with the opening 3 goals, but Waratah, a quality side, they steadied and pretty much controlled the game from there on in, Tara. No, they definitely didn't. There were some few standouts there across the Waratah side and the Tiwi side. Obviously, we spoke pretty generously about number 24, Jack O'Sullivan for the Tars, who was influential in defence all afternoon, and then just usual contenders up front for Waratah and Magro, Munkara, and the multiple goal scorer there in, Toby Hutt, number 17. So, no, really impressive across the board. And as we said, we've been generous with our talk about Carlson Cantilla, just an absolute powerhouse and a young kid who's come through the ranks and is working hard. So it's good.
Yeah, he's been terrific, and was again today, as was Brendan Cantilla and Kim Cantilla. They seem to be doing it every week. Stanley Tipalura had a fair bit of it as well, and Jack O'Sullivan, apart from the terrific work he did in defence in the second half, kicked 3 goals in the first half. Correct. So yeah, pretty much had playing with his own footy today. Yep. And he was terrific. And Ryan Clark in for his first game, of course, got plenty of the ball as the game went on, and Alex Pulling was pretty good as well. So yeah, a good game of football, but in the end a comfortable win for Tars, and I think Ryan Ayres will be pretty happy with that outcome as they roll on through the season.
That's it. And look, probably just a final shout out there for a couple of the young up-and-coming talent boys that have come through and have been a part of this game. So great goal there from number 52 from Tiwi Bombers in Francis Tippin-Woody, and a really confident performance from Oliver Paulson as well. So from Tars. So it's been a pleasure to host you this afternoon. That is the final score here for the Tiwi Bombers taking on Waratah in round 6 of the 2023-24 TIO NTFL season. Tiwi Bombers 9-6-60 to the Waratahs 16-13-109. It's been a pleasure to host you this afternoon. We'll be back this afternoon and this evening with more footy action for round 6.